In today's video, we're going to talk about the very best way to get in and out of a chair while sparing your back and your knees. And in the second half of this video, I'm going to give you some tips on how to make it easier if you find the movement pattern very difficult. Now, I know you might be thinking that you have been getting in and out of chairs hundreds of times a day since you were a little kid. And I understand that, but if you think about it, you probably realize that you don't get in and out of the chair the same way you did when you were a little kid, because now there are parts of you that are stiffer than others. There may be muscles that are tighter. Maybe you've had an injury or two along the way, or a surgery or two that make you move a little differently. And one day you wake up and you realize that getting down into a chair and getting back up and out of it, it doesn't feel great on the knees or on the back. And if that's you, we're going to work on that right now. All you're going to need to practice is a chair and maybe some pillows, so have those handy just in case. So, step number one, stand in front of your chair very close to the seat with your feet shoulder width and pointed forward. Now, this is important because this aligns your knees to be bending in the correct direction. So you want those feet pointed relatively forward. If they have to turn out a little bit, that's okay. And the knees pointed forward. Tip number two, be an action figure with your trunk. So if you've ever played with action figures, or you've ever known someone who did, then you know that an action figure's trunk is all one piece. They can move from their hips and maybe their knees and their ankles, at least action figure you will move at all three of those joints, but they don't move at their trunk. So as you're going into this sitting position, it's very important that you keep your trunk as strong and straight as an action figure would. Now, point number three is that in order to sit down well, you're going to have your weight over the arches of your feet, and you're going to fold at three joints, your ankles, your knees, and your hips, just like an accordion, but you're not going to move through that action figure trunk, right? So let's give it a try. We've got our feet forward, we've got our action figure trunk, and we're going to fold at the ankles, knees, and hips until we get all the way down into the chair. Now, it's normal at this point to sit back, right? So consider that before you work on getting up and out of your chair. To get up and out of your chair, you have to get back into that accordion position by bending at the hips. Notice that I am hinging at my hips. I am not bending through my back because we have an action figure trunk. You're going to push through the whole foot on both feet and drive your hips under your shoulders. Now notice that I focused on driving the hips and not the knees, because the biggest mistake we make when getting out of the chair is that we fold all the way forward at the hips, we straighten the knees, and then we try to straighten the back. So let's see if instead we can drive the hips up and under the shoulders so that we're focused on the hip motion. I promise you your ankles and knees will follow. Now the best part of that, especially if getting up and out of a chair has been tough on your back, is that you should not have felt that in your back at all because you used an action figure trunk. So let's try that one more time. Our feet are pointed forward. We have action figure trunk. We're going to fold like an accordion at the ankles, knees, and hips. We can sit back if we want to, but we're going to resume that accordion position to get up and out, and you're going to push with your feet, driving your hips underneath your shoulders. All right, now before I move on to part two about what to do if that's difficult for you, I just want to remind you that if you like this content, if you enjoyed it, please click like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and please do share this information with friends and family that you think could really benefit from it. We really appreciate your helping us get the word out to those who really want and need it. All right, now what to do if that sitting and standing motion was difficult for you. This is where your pillows come in. So you can use one or more pillows as a booster seat. It's probably been a while since you used a booster seat, and that's okay. Just like when you did it before, it's completely temporary. So you only use it as long as you need it. So you can add cushions to add height to your seat no matter where that puts you. So you start your motion as high as it needs to be. You can make that chair as high as it needs to be. You could even do it to a stool at first if that helps you. But I want you to get it high enough that you can put your body in this same position. Feet pointed forward, action figure trunk. You're going to bend at the ankles, knees, and hips until you sit. So you see that's a much shorter range of motion for me. You can even sit back and kind of enjoy that for a moment. Then you're going to resume that accordion position by bending at the hips, not along the back, and you're going to push with your feet, driving your hips under your shoulders. Now, here's the bonus for this, and you've probably already figured it out, is once you've got the movement pattern down, it is a great strengthening exercise for your hips, your legs, and even for your core. Why for your core? Because you're using this action figure trunk scenario. You're keeping your spine nice and stable. And if you know ways to activate your abdominals to help you keep your spine stable, you can do that in this exercise and you get a great little gratuitous core workout too. All right, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you found that helpful and useful. Until next time, keep moving and be well.